come to order. The first order of business is a land acknowledgement. ASG acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Kumeyaay Nation. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. The second order of business is a roll call. The clerk of the Senate will now take roll.
Andrea Arvizu.
Here.
Zevin Atisha.
Here.
Jordan Bayon.
Here.
Anissa Beckett.
Here.
Jolie Beagle.
Here.
Brooke Cluster.
Here.
Jameson Daytalk.
Present.
Cassandra Diaz.
Here.
Lucas Diaz Granados.
Here.
Angelica Goutman.
Here.
Lily Giovanelli.
Here.
Valentina Guerrero.
Here.
Takayla Haymond. Deborah Ilupeju.
Here.
Osasogie Yoha. Margaret Jelsma.
Here.
Jonathan Martinez.
Here.
Alejandro Murillo.
Here.
Sean Paula.
Here.
Emma Peters.
Here.
Valeria Rivera.
Here.
Amaya Rodriguez Ajis.
Here.
Maritza Santoyo.
Here.
Ava Serene.
Here.
Isabella Sevilla.
Here.
Our third order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor to approve today's agenda? The academics committee agenda.
It's still red.
It's working.
Okay, I move to approve the agenda from 10/12/2023.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to approve today's agenda. Is there any discussion? If there is no discussion, we will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes with the approval of today's agenda. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the last Senate meeting. Is there any motion on the floor to approve the minutes? Senator Osa?
I move to approve the minutes from October 5th, 2023.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to approve the minutes from October 5th, 2023. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. At this time, any member of the public now raise to the immediate attention of the Senate any immediate concerns or issues that to be further addressed at the final hearing and business of the public. If no questions at this time, we will now move on to the next agenda item. The next agenda item is reports from the Speaker of the Senate. Hi everyone, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Officially, the one-on-ones between your lead team and the senators have been decided, so be on the lookout for any emails or Google Calendar invites from either me, Lily, or Cece. So we're able to make sure those are happening. They should start beginning next week, maybe at the end of this week if you're really lucky. But just be on the lookout and make sure you show up, and if you can't, make sure you communicate to one of them that you cannot. Also, the same with your advisor meetings. Make sure you're showing up on time to those. Your advisors are also, y'all are very busy people, and so are your advisors. So if you cannot show up on time that day, make sure you're communicating with that. And then, so this week, I have been meeting with upcoming presenters, and we have a great slate of people coming, and especially today. I'm going to be sending out some Google Docs for y'all for those speakers. So just be on the lookout. Make sure you're talking to your constituents before these speakers come, and come up with questions, ideas, concerns, themes that y'all want the speakers to talk about. But I will be sending those out here shortly after today to make sure y'all are all prepared, and so they can come prepared with some material for y'all. And then last week on Friday, I met with VP of Student Affairs, Charlotte Johnson, and we mainly talked about student concerns with auxiliary and dining on campus and other health and wellness issues for the campus that I hope to be working with the president and our health and wellness coordinator on. And then when y'all are extending time, just make sure y'all are considering whether or not y'all are about to make a motion, or how much discussion. I will remind y'all if we have a bunch of people on stack that we have a bunch of people on stack, but just be considerate and have that on mind when y'all do extend time in the future. And then recently I've been working with the PR chair for marketing materials for the extra 4 open Senate seats. Okay. And then we also have some flyers coming out on that part. The next agenda item is reports from the Senate meeting.
Hi guys, so on our slide this week we just have important links for the senators to check out, including the Senate initiatives sheet and the funding request form. And that is all for this week.
The next item on the agenda is reports from committee chairs and coordinators.
Hi, just a reminder that research grant applications are open and those close on November 3rd, so just remind your constituents if anyone's interested in it. We have our first committee meeting tomorrow, and then we'll be switching over to evening meetings starting next week. If you guys have any recommendations or concerns, just let me know so we can address them in our meeting. So we're working our tabling event, and then we had our first finance committee meeting on Tuesday, I believe. But yeah, and then Jacob's little features on the right corner. For those of you who don't know, he was a senator last year, and we got like really close because of it, and he misses the Senate a lot. So.
Hey y'all, approved more orgs. We have more orgs to approve. Senator Jonathan will be presenting 3 new orgs today, super exciting. Please make sure you're paying attention, asking questions. Athletics Committee and I met on our tabling event. Just a little funny meme because I know that we're going into midterms. Please take care of yourself, get some sleep, eat well. Love you all, you're all beautiful and amazing.
Hello everyone. IDEA had their first meeting on Monday. We got to know each other a little bit better. And we also came up with some action items to bring to our next meeting to talk about. And then each person on my committee has something that they want to work with. Well, this is like tabling for their different constituent areas, but also like the general student body. They also are thinking about an initiative regarding care packages for new immigrants that are being housed at a local church. So we're looking into those initiatives and sending in those requests soon. And then we're also having conversations about USD being an HSI versus an HEI, which is Hispanic Serving Institution versus Hispanic Enrolling Institution, and helping to have these conversations with President Harris as well. Yes, we attended the Finance Committee on Tuesday, and then the TVB Latinx event was a blast. Thank you, Marco and their team, and Victoria for everything they did. It was great. And then for the quote of the day, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you.
Hi all, no new updates. We have our first Student Life Committee meeting tomorrow. Really looking forward to that. We have had students express interest in the grocery lift codes that were present last semester, so we'll definitely be talking about that tomorrow, so be on the lookout. Attended Finance Committee meeting, super excited for the tabling event we have planned on October 18th. And please feel free to reach out with student life ideas, specifically like general priorities. This can be anything from security to food insecurity to school spirit. And feel free to email me at my email on it.
Hello everyone, so I submitted a Senate initiatives request form for the October 26th volleyball tabling event that I hope you guys will all be able to attend or volunteer at. I also spoke with the current LLC program director. They've agreed to make this like an LLC-wide competition. They're currently speaking to the LLC faculty about offering extra credit for these first-year students to attend the game, which is very exciting. So hopefully all of these different incentives will work. And also talking with Res Life about marketing, as they're already in a sports participation competition between residence halls for this month. So it'd be a good place for marketing to be. And then the home games are on there for this week, and you guys can check it out.
Hi guys, so Active Minds is having their first pizza mental health check-in on October 18th. The mental health screenings are going all month long via student wellness. I met with Claire and Dr. Woodruff yesterday about the funding for STD and STI testing. Hopefully we'll start with that on Monday. I met with Claire and the president about wellness lift codes. I'm working on getting more Narcan training. If anybody else is interested, please email me. And then finally, the focus group to find equipment that students would want in the wellness building. If you guys are still interested, please email me. Otherwise, look out for your emails. I'll send out the first meeting today.
Hello everyone. So a reminder about the pop-up thrift that's going to be happening on the 17th. It's hosted by the Sustainability Club and Office of Sustainability. Donations for that event will be available to you all up until next Tuesday. And again, the event will be on October 19th. All the proceeds are going to the Disabled American Veterans Organization. And also the Sustainability Club is always looking for new members. So if you know anyone interested, please just let them know to DM their Instagram. And some good news of the week is a local organization called the Coronado Emerald Keepers are using marine skimmers to capture debris and oils and pollutants along San Diego's coast.
Thank all committee chairs and coordinators. The speaker pro tempore.
I move to table reports from ASG Executive Board until after the presentation by J.C. Rivas.
Second.
There is a motion on the floor that has been seconded to table the executive board updates until after the presentation by J.C. Rivas later today. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Table ASG exec updates. The next item on the agenda is a presentation on the building of open educational resources at USD by the Associate Dean for Student Success and Diversity at Copley Library. Regina Copley, welcome.
Okay, you can see how cluttered my desktop is. Hi everyone, good afternoon, and my name is Regina Gong. Thank you to all the, Lily and Gunnar and Andres who invited me to speak with you this afternoon. So I am from Copley. I am new here at USD. So, I cannot stay behind the podium, so I'm going to stay here. I am new at USD. I came here February 15 of this year. And this position is new because we really want to have that close relationship with our students and our student body, thank you, in terms of student success. So, so I mentioned I am new at USD, and working with student government is really near and dear to my heart. I came from Michigan State University, and I have worked with their student government for 3 years, and I hope that, I get to work with you all too for many years to come. So because this is my first time talking to you, I thought than just talking about OER, I'll talk about what is our partnership at Copley and what we can do in our role in student success. So, let's see. Okay, so you all have your phones, right? You can either scan that QR code or just go to menti.com and use that code. Just have some interactivity in here. Yeah. So, yeah, basically just answer that. Okay. I will have to go to here. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad. Keep the votes coming. As you notice, no is not just a no, right? No for now, but you are going to visit someday, hopefully soon. Yay! Well, thank you. Let's go to the other question. Why do you visit the Copley Library? Is it working? Say that again. Oh, it did change? Let's see. Can you see next? Sometimes Menti is... No? Ooh, let's see.
Maybe press through that.
What happened?
You opened it again.
Oh, did I?
Try for that, I'll have the top right.
It updated, yes. Yes, study. To get work done. Get ahead of schoolwork. To be in a quiet space, yes. Independent study, I love it. Yeah, so it looks like you go to Copley to study and to use the rooms, right? To have a quiet space for you to complete your coursework. Thank you, everyone. And we have another question. What's your most favorite place at Copley? Oh, the stacks, if you can find it. Wow. Yeah, my office is at the Mother Rosalie Hill reading room. So I pass by that room every day. I love it. Room 133 is a study room. The first floor. Big wooden tables. Oh, yeah. The Harry Potter room is the Mother Hill Rosalie reading room. Everything. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you can keep your responses going. I will just go back to the presentation. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really glad that you all are, have been to the Copley Library, and the library has been base for you to study and do your coursework. So this is the library website. Have you had a chance to visit the library website? You did, yeah, that's good. The one in the middle is really something that you all should be using when you are finding materials for your classes. So this is not just books, but all the other formats that we carry in the library. So articles, streaming videos, movies, and other images. So you can use that in order to find materials that you need for the library. And I am not gonna go through that. Just wanted to show you that we have a newly redesigned library website. So yeah, you can search for articles, as I mentioned, and we call that search box, so you can check that out. You can book a study room. So it looks like that is a very popular way of using the library. So if you have not visited this yet, our booking a study room is done online. So these are the study rooms that we have in the library. It shows you the capacity and what it's intended to be used for. So whether it's individual or group study. And the link to the reservation is over there. You can also borrow books and more. So how many of you have recently just borrowed something from the library? Just a show of hands. That's good. Yeah. So we have more than just books. So we have all of these things that you can check out. And these are the loan period is the number of days that you are able to have that material with you. So please take advantage of what you can borrow from Copley. And one thing too that I'd like to let you know is that if you do not have time to pick up a book yourself, you can request the book to be delivered to the circulation desk on the first floor, and you can just pick it up without you having to go and look it up at the stacks. I also like to pitch in this program that we have. It's called the Undergraduate Research Awards. So each year we award exemplary research from undergraduate students, and there are award amounts for that. So it's usually in the spring. So be on the lookout for that. You all are writing good research papers and all your other projects in your class. So consider applying for the Undergraduate Research Awards. Yeah, so one of the things that I learned when I came here is that ASG is very active in ensuring that our students don't have that barrier regarding the high cost of textbooks, right? And so recently, and I think over the period of the pandemic, ASG engaged in the funding of an e-textbook platform, which we call Bibliu. Bibliu is the name of the company that hosts these e-textbooks. And really just wanted to thank ASG for funding this initiative. I think we are on, this is the 3rd year, I think, right? Of ASG funding these initiatives. So let's see. So this is the website where you all can find information about the Bibliu program. It is specifically for undergrads. And a number of your professors have took advantage of this program. As of today, there are 98 titles in the pool. So in the pool of books that are available at BibliU, there are 98 titles in there. However, 62 titles have just been used. So not all of those titles have triggered usage. And this is just a snapshot of, some salient statistics that I can see from behind the scenes. Because one of the things that Copley does with our partnership with you here at ASG in terms of BibliU is that now that I am here, we are administering the back end of the platform. So I can see the usage, the title usage of the titles that are available there. And so this is just from, is that July 14? Yeah, so that's July 14 to October 12, which is today. From that period, we have about 299 readers and more than 3,000 sessions. And it even tells you the average number of minutes that each user spends, in using the platform. So I thought it would be interesting for you to take a look at what are the top 25 titles that are being used in this platform. So these are the top 25 titles. And in the interest of transparency, since you all are funding this, you need to see how much each of those titles costs, right? So the cost of accessing titles is based on the number of students and the frequency that the students are accessing each of the titles. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. So BibliU e-textbook platform is one of the many ways that we are addressing textbook affordability here at USD. We also have a library course and e-research program. So these are mainly for those classes where your professors use a lot of journal articles, right? Journal articles or other readings that they might want you to access and put it in your so put it in Blackboard, right, which are LMS, and next semester we'll have Canvas. So that is also one of the ways in which we are mitigating the effects of high textbook costs for our students. And the other area that I really have been working on in my previous institutions that I have been is with Open Educational Resources, or OER. For USD, we are launching that program. It's not a full-blown program yet, but we are going to be launching that soon, and I hope we can partner on that end as well. So just a bit of a background in case you're wondering what are OERs. So OER are teaching, learning, and research materials that are typically in the public domain or have open licenses associated with it. So when I say open license, it's Creative Commons license. Have you all seen a Creative Commons license? Yeah, so Creative Commons license are what makes OER open. It means that everyone can legally download, remix, revise, and redistribute those materials without the author losing their copyright. So it basically gives a blanket permission for anyone to reuse that particular resource. And OER, so this is just my favorite way of illustrating what OERs are. That's the Creative Commons license. That's the symbol for, it's CC by attribution, basically. And it allows educators to tailor that particular resource to the needs of our students without really having to pay for this material. So these materials are free, as in really free. And but of course, in creating these materials, it has material costs, right? The intellectual labor of the authors who are creating these materials is foremost. But for the students, it really is free. So it comes in many forms. One of the most common form of OER are open textbooks, because OER really came to be because here in North America, the cost of learning materials, textbooks, is really very prohibitive. And a lot of our students, especially those who are, getting financial aid and low income and, really cannot afford to pay for this astronomical cost of textbook. And more than the affordability imperative of OER, it's also an equity issue. So, do you know that Wikipedia has an open license? So, Wikipedia has a CC BY, I think, share alike open license. Some of the videos in YouTube have open licenses too. Certainly, you probably use Khan Academy. Those are free, but they're not necessarily OER because they do not have open licenses attached to it. So I just want to, highlight our partnership. We have a really strong partnership that we have at Copley. So one of the things that we are partnering with you, aside from the provision of the e-textbook platform through Bibliu, is Finals Week. So I know finals seems like a long time away, right? But Finals Week, 2 weeks, the library is open for 24/7, and I think ASG provides some funding for self-care, de-stress activities. And so thank you for continuing to provide that for our students. And also, remember I showed you a slide earlier where, I have like a chart that outlines the loan period for each of the materials that we lend in the library. So part of that are ASG funded. So especially those that, refer to technology accessories. So chargers and all the other cables that you need, we lend that too, courtesy of ASG. And one of the potential areas of partnership that we probably can do, because in my role as Associate Dean for Student Success, I do, specially designed workshops to group of students. So if there's an interest in your membership for me to provide you with some student success workshops, I'd be more than glad to do that. And one of the things too that I would like you, if you can volunteer, is the library has an artwork committee. And one of the things that we strive to do in the library is to provide artwork that reflects the diversity of the students that we have here at USD. So artwork that are created by our students, faculty, alumni, certainly are some things that we strive to provide in the library. So, if you've been in the library and you saw that artwork right in the middle, those are some of the things that, we wanted to purchase more. And so just a call for volunteers. If, we can have 2 volunteers from ASD, don't have to decide now. And if you want to be part of the artwork committee, then you have a say as to what artwork you want to see in the library. That reflects the diversity of our student body. Also want to invite you to some events that we are gonna have. So October is Filipino-American History Month. I'm a Filipina-American, and so really proud that we had a very successful event last week with the Filipino San Diego Poet Laureate, and he came here at USD, and we had about 75 people who came. We are at the end of celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and to celebrate that, we have the Ballet Folklorico El Tapatio de San Dieguito. They will come here on Monday, October 16 at 6 p.m. I hope you can come. We will have a taco truck parked outside the library, and the first 65 people who show up to watch these dancers will get free taco and horchata. So if you're free, that's 6 p.m. on Monday. We'd love to have you. And if you visit the library, we have an exhibit of the Filipino-American History Month and also the Hispanic Heritage Month. Yeah, so, that's it for now. I hope you have questions. So I am open to any questions you might have about my presentation or about Kapli and our work together.
The TDD chair.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I think that was really great for everyone to kind of know the other resources that the library has other than just being there as a study space. So thank you very much for coming today. I had a quick question about the artwork committee, just in terms of what does the time commitment look like for that? Like how often does that committee meet?
I am not in the committee, but what I know is that they do not meet that often. I think the meeting is once a semester. Because basically, this committee will be recommending artwork that Kapli can purchase. So if you have artists, whose work you want to be displayed in the library, then, you can recommend that. And the committee, how many, I think there's about 8 people in the committee. We'll talk about it, of course, investigate and see if it fits, the criteria of what we can include as an artwork. Then, yeah. Because, we do not have student involvement in this, and I think we need to. And I really am a very strong proponent of having student representation in committees that you all are impacted, right? You would want to see artwork, not just in the library, but around here at USD that reflects, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And certainly works by artists of color.
Senator Valentina.
I just wanted to ask, are there any copy makers inside the library? I'm sorry for my question, but I really do want to know.
Oh my gosh, no, that you should not be sorry. We do not. We do not have, at least like in the areas where it's public. We have coffee makers, like the staff side. And I really, we really are aware that, libraries now, academic libraries have cafes, right? In my previous institution, we have, a cafe inside the library. And so, that is something that we can, we can take into account and consider for future planning. But yeah, I get you. Especially if you're there like at 11 p.m. and you have like an assignment that you have to turn in the following day, right? You need loads of coffee. So, yeah.
Point of order, the time allotted for this agenda item has elapsed.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval vote for new student organizations given by Jonathan Martinez, Senator.
Yep.
Thank you, Mom.
Can you guys hear me? Hello, so I am a part of the student org committee, and we do have 3 new organizations for you guys to approve. The first one being the Kindred Art Collective, with the mission to bring enriching arts culture to USD, with the goal to support students and allow for them to showcase their work in a gallery setting space, as well as participating in art opportunities and career learning. And the students are also going to have opportunities to learn how to use art in a meaningful way by using the proceeds received from their student art show and auction to be given to a charity of the new organization's choice. The second student organization is the Terrell Themed Entertainment, with the mission to create an inclusive community where students are welcome and supported in their individual interests and pursuit of the theme entertainment industry. And their goal is to provide an environment where members thrive in their academic and professional development, appreciate the intersectionality of the themed entertainment industry, and are empowered to engage in opportunities that further individual growth and knowledge. And our last new student org is the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, is a chapter to the national organization, with a mission to recognize and celebrate high achievement among first and second year students in all academic disciplines, with the goal to encourage and promote high standards throughout the collegiate experience by providing opportunities for personal growth and leadership development. And I'd like to provide many different types of scholarships to those who can apply and compete for these awards. So now, any other questions, comments, or concerns? And you guys also have now the opportunity to approve these clubs.
The Academics Committee Chair.
I move to approve all the clubs presented.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to approve all new student organizations. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes with the approval of all presented new student warrants. The next item on the agenda is the presentation by Dr. Juan Carlos Rivas on engaging change-making on campus. The Clerk of the Senate.
I move to suspend Robert's Rules of Order during the presentation by JC.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to suspend Robert's Rules of Order for the presentation by Dr. J.C. Rivas. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes to suspend Robert's Rules.
Sweet. All right. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Just in time for you to be digesting the lumpias. Perfect. My name is Juan Carlos. I also go by JC, and I work at the Changemaker Hub. For the next 40 minutes that we're going to spend together, you're not going to need any laptops, and all you're actually going to need is to number yourselves 1, 2, 1, 2, and this is the toughest thing we'll do today, right? Which is getting into place to actually play together. So we'll go 1, 2, and then just keep going.
2.
Remember your numbers.
2. 2.
Just keep it going.
1, 2, 1.
1. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2.
2.
Fabulous. All right. So now I'm going to ask my friends who are number 2s to either get a friend to help you with the chair or do this yourself and bring the chair inside the U. So we're basically creating teams of 2 or 4 people. All right? Go for it. All right, you can do this in like a minute, I'm sure. Go. Right in the middle of the point. All right, how are we doing?
Just come here. Just come
Okay, everybody in place? Wonderful. So we can focus back here. Once we have all our little treats in the middle, you know what we're gonna. They're not treats. They're not snacks. So here, this is what we're doing. When I was invited by both Gunnar and Lily to be here today, every time they invite me, sometimes I feel like they may regret it later, but here we go. So they invited me to share with you a bit more about how change making works. And I know you wouldn't even be here, sitting here, if you didn't have an interest for like actually making a difference in our community, right? At the Hub, we do a number of things to provide opportunities for you to engage in that. And one of the main things that we do is workshops like this in co-curricular initiatives that help students understand better how they can get engaged in social change through tools and developing tools and skills for yourself. So the next, whatever amount of time we have together is very, very much interactive, and this is the way it works. At the end, I'm planning on giving you a tool for you to take, but my hope is that this is not an infomercial for the Hub. If you want to learn more about the Hub, I'd love to chat with you. I'm on the 3rd floor of the SLP, and you'll see me all the time. But hopefully this will pique your interest to just be like, well, what else do they do? And how can they help? How can we help you do your job? So here's what we're gonna do. The first activity is not a competition. If you're competitive, that's fine. Let it flow. It's all good. But just know that there's no word at the end. Like maybe at the end you get 3 extra lumpias if you want to. But it is not a competition. you can share materials. Each of your tables has a little brown bag, and then you have like teams of 4 to 6 people. Just make sure that you're at least 3 people. The 3 of you can work together, 3 of you can work together. Oh, actually, no, sorry. This is this, and I think you have a bag? Oh, can you pass that back to me? Yeah. Doesn't matter. 3 to 4 people in the team. Does everybody have some? Okay. Now focus on me again so that I can tell you what you're doing, because otherwise you'll be like, these are just random items from my house. Here's your first task. You are in charge with your team to create something. And I'm going to tell you right now what you are creating with those little materials that you have. You can share materials with other tables because they look alike, but not everybody has the same. So the first task for you is to create a backpack with the materials that you were given. The scale obviously is not going to be human-sized because I didn't give you enough. You have 3 minutes to put together a backpack. 3 minutes, friends.
And you got tape? Go. But we have string to it.
Can we cut these in half and this has the straps? Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to
How much?
Wait, this can be yeah, let's do
Oh God. Oh, you're gonna pop it. I think we should do
Still have 2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
I just realized we can make it like back to back.
1 minute, friends. 1 minute.
Now we go. We go struggle.
All right. 30 seconds, friends. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
What is that? That is not a backpack.
All right, that is time. Little pause for a second. Well, I am told that the backpack that you created right now is actually not for a human. So you're gonna have a little bit more time because the backpack turns out is for a lobster. So you have about 3 minutes to adapt your backpack to be a backpack for a lobster. 3 minutes to adapt it.
We're just too good.
We have 2 minutes left. It feels like most things are there, so I may take away a minute. Are you all done? All right.
¿Cuánto tiempo queda?
You have a minute and a half. You still have a lot? Yeah, you done? Most things are done. So 30 seconds, that way we actually save ourselves some time. 20 seconds, friends, 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
That is time. I don't know why this is not working anymore. That is time. So apparently we have one last round. I just learned that this lobster does not go to USD. This lobster is actually going somewhere else.
Where?
And so now you're gonna have 2 minutes to adapt this backpack for a lobster to go to space. All right, 2 minutes.
No, yeah.
30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. If you think that's making up the atmosphere, you don't
Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job.
Oh shoot, she did it.
All right. Our time is a little bit limited, but I'd love to hear. All right, everybody stop working on your backpack. Our time is slightly limited, but I'd like to hear about a couple of the designs here. So if your team cares to share, all right, lots of you. So as long as you keep it to like 30 seconds and tell us very quickly, okay?
This is our backpack. We worked smarter, not harder like many of this group. This is the helmet. This is adapted, like you can move this to, thank you, to wear it however you want to. The like rocket,
Gotcha. Yeah, perfect.
well, the helmet, yeah, and this is the base.
Thank you. Thank you. Emma. Here we go.
Okay, so this is our backpack for the lobster that goes on his back. It has an antenna, so it's like it's Find My iPhone, you know, so they can always find him. And then you can attach to the rocket ship in space so he doesn't float away, and people can see him. And inside, we have a flag to make sure that, you know, when he lands on the moon, he can make sure it's
Put a little thing. All right. Fair. I saw more hands. We'll go back there. I don't know your name. Do you mind telling me?
So this is ours. I'm
What's your
Jolie. I'm Jolie. This is ours. I would encourage any sea animal to take this backpack. There's straps. They will not give you a rash because they're felt-ish, I think. There's oil to protect you in space. We have a window, and that's our flag for lobsters.
Lovely. That's great. That's great. Ladies, team, yeah?
Yeah, so ours is like, because lobsters, because lobsters are like horizontal, the straps are down here, so he can put his claws through. This is a space helmet, and then it's like anti-gravity, and it has feathers and then our flag is a seahorse star flag because like he's from the ocean, but he's going to space.
Oh, I love that. This is the first group ever that does flags. Over here.
Hello, my name is Dana. So this is our backpack for a lobster. So there's an antenna and then a backpack, and it literally has things in it for them. And then what's it called, the tin foil, so it can go to space. And then this is a little pocket with a seahorse on it. And then inside has things to take to school. So yeah, school spirit.
And to remember you're a star. Play-Doh when you get bored. Glue stick for arts and crafts. A pen for taking notes. And a pom-pom as a stress ball.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
Think ahead.
All right. Good work. Round of applause for all the backpacks. Good job. Now, I am given 45 minutes with you. Why would I spend 15 of those minutes making backpacks for lobsters? Why do you think we just did this? In what ways could this relate in any possible way to either change making or your work in Senate? Yes.
Well, for example, we had to like adjust to the materials we had and adapt like to the time we were giving or the update. So I think that's something that change makers do, like adapt, evolve, and like work with what you've got, make it work.
Fantastic. And you could almost use as synonyms, change making and senators, the work you all do. What else? Yes. And then come back here.
I'm Caitlin. It made us think about like somebody else's needs and think about like from a different perspective. We weren't just thinking about like us as a student, you know?
Nice. Yeah, start thinking. I'm going to take this comment, and then I'd love to hear some folks commenting on how their design evolved from learning it was for a lobster and then it was going to space.
Also teamwork, because everyone had different ideas.
All us. So how did your design change based on like, oh, now it's for a lobster, oh, now it's going to space? Maya? I'm getting my steps too.
So I think like that. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. I don't know why I spaced out. Anyways, oh yeah, you have to like adjust to the environment and kind of think of everything that they may need in that moment, and like wherever they're going or the size of what they're doing or how big or small they are. You have to adapt and see like what are their needs, not really like what they were saying, like not your own needs, but everyone else's needs are.
Spot on. So how many of you, just by a show of hands, change your design based on what a lobster needs? Feels like a number of teams kind of went doing that, right? How about how did context matter? Why did space matter? Like ultimately a lobster could probably like hook one little of the straps, right? But going to space, how did that change your particular design? I mean, I saw tinfoil flying everywhere, but yeah, I'll take it. And then I'll come over here with it.
Well, we knew that when the lobster went to space, it was going to face different challenges. So we prepared the lobster for those challenges by protecting the lobster from aliens with the tinfoil, making sure they could strap the backpack, have something bright and shiny so they can see the lobster where it is in space. So we prepared the lobster.
Honestly, I've done this exercise so many times. These are some of the best backpacks. I actually want to keep some of them and take pictures of them later because they're really nice. So, all right. You might be wondering, why do the lobster and space matter? Well, you just had some answers right now, figuring out people's needs, the setting in which your lobster lives, and so forth. In regards to the work that we do at the Hub, we often like to think, not only at the Hub, like when we're talking about change making, if this session is like a starter pack for you to engage further in social change, which you already are doing because you are senators, we often invite students that are engaging in social change to immediately think about who are the people that they are serving. And all of you are serving different stakeholders within campus, right? You have from commuters to transfer students to first years and so forth, right? Or different academic areas and so forth. So your lobsters matter because they would indicate what you need to do in how to best serve them. Then the space matters because the needs of somebody who's a commuter coming into here is a different experience than the person that lives in that, like we could call a different kind of space, the people that live in res life, right, in dorms. So we use an approach at the Hub called human-centered design. And what it is this is a problem-solving process, approach, and method that we use that takes us step by step to try and figure out what are some solutions to address potential challenges that we have in our society in general, social justice issues. The process looks a little bit like this. It was created at Stanford, more than you need to know. There's 5 steps here. The common thing, even as you're thinking about your jobs as senators, you might already have in mind, like, there's a bunch of problems that I want to tackle, right? Or issues that I want to make sure that we address. The most common behavior, human behavior, is to see a problem and to jump straight into ideating. Many of you already probably applied or ran, and then were voted in and selected to do this because you already have an idea of something that you want to make happen. Because you believe you understand an aspect of the problem. What this process asks you to do is to take 2 steps back and to figure out what does the lobster think about this? You could be, you came in as a senator and you're like, I got a backpack plan. And then you get here and you're like, oh no, I have lobsters that are going to space. Very different than what you imagine, right? Or some of you might be like, I'm making a backpack no matter what, whether that lobster likes it or not. Because you might be thinking you got horses. I'm sorry, I'm taking this so far, right? But you might be thinking you have different animals, even in the ocean, instead of like knowing your lobster. So I know what I'm setting up now because in the future, when I see you in the space at the SLP, I'll be like, who's your lobster? And then you'll be able to tell me what their needs are and their pain points and so forth. So the idea is you spend some time doing empathy work, getting to know the people, getting to know the context that you want to work in. Some of you might be thinking like, well, I live in that context. Like I know that's why I apply and I represent that population. Great. You're one lobster in a sea of many. So chances are every lobster has a different need. Once we do that, then we can start ideating. If right now you're only in love with your idea and not in love with the problem, then I would encourage you to just like take a step back and be like, well, what is the problem? And do I care enough about this problem to actually tackle it? Because if you're only in love with your idea and you try it once and your idea fails, you'll be like, well, that was Senate for me, thank you. And I'll see you later, right? If you fall in love with the problem of like the idea of solving, you'll be able to go that much farther with what you want to create in this particular space. So, one of the key things about doing this work is that design thinking or human-centered design works not like you designing for your constituents or your stakeholders, but designing with them, co-creating with them. When I say design, I really mean about co-creating different initiatives. So how do we do empathy? Which is really the only step that we're kind of doing today. You can either immerse, observe, or engage. There's many different ways in which you can observe the spaces, not in a creepy way, the spaces that your stakeholders navigate, right? So spend more time, especially if you're like at a particular dorm and whatnot, if you're representing a building, get to know the entire building. Sit there for a little bit with your coffee and just kind of like learn just from observing. You don't even need to engage sometimes. Sometimes you might want to bring donuts and actually engage in a different way, which I know you already do, right? To engage with people and have a conversation. Sometimes it looks like more than just sitting there and hoping somebody comes to you. You gotta create this space for them to actually come in and engage in different ways. And we can talk more about that if we want. I'm not gonna play this, sound is not working. Yeah, we have time. So if empathy is, part of the empathy is getting to know somebody, I'm gonna invite you right now to think about what is the best question that I've ever gotten. It could be about anything. A question that maybe like a friend asked you and you went, oh, that's a good question. And then you sat with it. So think about it and then you have a person in front of you. You're gonna share with them for a couple minutes, what is that question? I can tell you that one of my favorite questions that I've ever been asked, I was going through this is a lot more than you need to know, but like a grieving process after having lost one of our beloved pets. And instead of just like, how are you doing? Somebody asked me, how's your heart? And she just stopped me because I was like, whoa, what? How is my heart? I was able to share that much more than what I would have. So think about what is that particular question that maybe moved you to a point of like, I don't know, I never explored that before, and you share it with them. Talk to one or two people next to you, and I'm not gonna ask you to share later, but I just want you to chat with each other.
How was it growing up?
How you doing? I don't know people. Like, no, but it's more than
Well, one of them is here.
like
without actually sharing out loud the question that maybe you answer, like what you share with your partner or what your partner shared. I'd love to hear some insight that might have come up from hearing somebody else talk about the questions that they found insightful. What is something, maybe like a theme or something that it's insightful to you about the conversation you just had? Brooke.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I think like the biggest theme among our questions was like something that definitely like, pulled out a more vulnerable side of you. So like an example of one of the questions, I'll do like my own. It was like someone asked me like, oh, what's something you failed at recently? And so it's something that like you wouldn't expect because most people are there to like hear like your successes. But it kind of like brought out like, oh, like I'm here for you, like whether or not you fail or not, like it happens.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Cece. I think a common theme amongst my group's questions was kind of tying back to like the empathy you discussed earlier. That the questions itself might have been like more like profound, but they also could have been like super simple, just like, you know, like how are you doing, how's your day, what do you need? And it's kind of just all ties together in the sense that like it recognizes that other people are like looking out for you and other people care about you in like the smallest ways, but it's just a nice little reminder, kind of like reaffirms that.
Thank you. Maybe one more in the back. Oh yeah, Lil.
So a theme with ours was addressing mental and physical needs at the same time. So like I always like to ask like, how's your space, like mentally, physically? How are you going to set up your space to be successful? And I don't know, I like the word space because it addresses both like your physical and mental needs at the same time.
Love. So, in what ways could you maybe apply even some of it? But let me just think, I don't want to lead you on this. Just going to tell you because I want to keep going. The reason I wanted to have you do this is to connect with somebody else here in Senate. Often you can just walk in, open laptop, vote, and off you go, right? You're sitting around humans that are your network, that are your group, that nobody else understands what Senate feels like beyond the people that you already have sitting here, unless they've done Senate before, right? But this is your team. I feel like often any sort of like leadership position can feel really isolating, especially if you're representing like an entire building, an entire area. These are your folks, number one. Two, often when you go meet constituents out there, say even with donuts, I mean, I can't get that deep when I offer you a donut or a snack, right? But I can come up with really creative ways for people to share themselves with us. So if it's a one-on-one, skip the whole like, how are you doing? Midterm super hard? I do that all the time. But maybe ask, think about like, have like a bank of questions in your pocket, or like, here's 3 questions that I want to just like throw off people by a little bit, and then get to know them better. Spend time, if you're doing especially this with another person here, as you're getting to know different stakeholders and constituents, plan things accordingly to get to know more meaningful aspects of connecting with somebody. We're doing a couple projects on loneliness and at the Hub, trying to address student loneliness, which is it's such a critical, urgent challenge that we have in our community and in any community that is student-based. And there's 3 things that students need in order for them to feel less lonely. One is a sense of belonging, a sense of feeling seen, and a sense of feeling heard as well. So, as you're designing your interventions or the ways that you're connecting with folks, I would invite you to think about, does this create a sense of belonging for the folks that I'm talking to? Does this create a sense of connection to us? Or connection or feeling heard? And the other one, what are ways in which I can help people feel seen? One of the best ways you can do is get to know your constituents and just pick up names right away. You're walking by, like, tell them their name, say hi by name, not just Hayes. That sounds so simple, but if you want to build community around you, that's one of the easier ways to actually build it for real around you. So, let me keep going because I'm going to preach about. Now, you're not trying to solve for everything, friends. You're not trying to do, when you're a senator, I feel like some of us may feel like, oh my God, there's so many things I need to cover. You're just doing one thing at a time. So you literally are gonna pick up one little slice of the cake and then do that for a time, test it out. Initiatives and whatever you're proposing could be pretty bite-sized, and you don't need to go at it alone. So what I'm going to pass around is one right now. I'm going to show you the tool, and then we're going to work with this particular tool. This particular tool is something that we use at the Hub often, where we try to create a project First, what is your backpack? There's two questions here. It's like a Mad Lib situation. I want to create ways to what? I'll give you an example. Or I want to redesign the transfer experience, the commuter experience. I'll wait for you all to get the piece of paper and then you'll focus up here. All right, everybody has their one? Almost there, almost there, almost there. So for now, you're only gonna work with the one that has the lobster on it. All right, so before you start working with this, focus front again. So I wanna show you the example of what this can look like. We do a lot of these kind of like framework handouts at the Hub where we help people think through things. So I want you to put on your hat of senator right now and figure out, okay, I'm doing this because I want to accomplish something, right? So what is it that you want to accomplish? What is your backpack? Is question one. I want to create ways to what? Or I want to redesign, reimagine an experience. I'll give you an example in a second. I want to create ways to access affordable food for food insecure students. That's one bigger, it sounds like a goal, but it's something that you want to do. So it could be a goal, right? Or you may want to redesign or reimagine the food pricing experience at USD. I know that's something that you all are working on. Number two, who are your main stakeholders? It might be your commuter students, your seniors, the people that you represent. Who are they? And if there's intersections or there is a specificity to the people that you're serving, you'll write that in the lobster area. And then I want you to brainstorm a bit on your own. What places or contexts can you observe to learn more about your lobster? And then lastly, what are some questions that can help you get started to understand their experience? So when you engage with them, what are some questions that you can ask in order for them to tell you more about their experience, their pain points, their frustration? Okay? You have about 4 minutes to complete this particular handout. If you don't have a pen, maybe raise your hand and we'll get you a friend that has pens. Okay. Does anybody else need a pen? Okay.
What else? Yeah, it's got it in there. I don't know, I just Oh, yeah. I know.
Another 20. You have another 20 seconds to complete this. All right, that is time. So we have one more little piece of paper to go through, and then I want to have you just chat with your team, and we might be able to debrief a bit at the end. Right now, based on what you just brainstormed, I want you to spend some time making what I would call like a commitment, right? What is your tentative plan? So a lot of times training is just kind of like, okay, that was a nice little tool, thank you, and you put that piece of paper away, you never look at it again. I want you to just take your next step and figure out 3 questions. In the next week, what is something that you want to do that may be inspired by what we just did here? You want to get to know your stakeholders better, you want to go observe people, you want to chat with 3 people. It could be as small as like chatting with 3 people or doing a large, you don't need to do larger events, it's not huge. Second question is people that you can reach out to. So maybe there's other senators here that may want to collaborate with you on whatever you may be planning. And then in 1 month, what is something that you want to accomplish in a month? Which friends, in a month, it's almost Thanksgiving. So don't start thinking about Thanksgiving just yet. But think about what you want, where you want to be in a month within your goal. All right? Literally, this is like a 2-minute quick commitment. 2 minutes.
We got an idea for you.
What's your idea? Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
If you are done, whenever you're done, please start talking. Whenever you're done, please start talking to your team members to share about what you're committing yourself to.
Like an inflatable So, next week I want to stop. I know everyone is, my name, so I haven't gotten to the people I'll reach out to, I've got some people who I already know. And then 1 month I'll learn all the other people.
It's so boring.
All right. You can put a bunch to your conversations. We're about to be done. Good. So I'd love to hear any reactions or commentary, takeaways from the conversation with your teams right now. Anything that emerged either in your conversation, or if you want to share, like, hey, this is what I committed myself to do, and you want to share with everybody else, that'd be great too. Yes.
Hi, everyone. So for me personally, I have been I just started working on this, and I'm trying to work on it more. I want to create ways to make food more accessible to Muslim students during Ramadan, especially at breakfast, and I have just started working with Andre Malier, who's the head of auxiliary, correct? He's the head of auxiliary, and I'm going to be meeting more with Muslim students and like having an interest survey sent out in the next few weeks to try to get interest on how they would like breakfast served and things like that and what they would want. And yeah, that's how I've been working on that so far, and that's my goal.
That's awesome. Thank you. A couple more. You can share a commitment or just take anything that you talked about. Yes.
Well, personally, also like making people like more aware that ASG exists and what it does, because I feel like not a lot of people here know what ASG is, especially freshman people, and I think it could be very helpful if anyone wants to voice a concern or has something they want to change, to just like tell us so we can bring it up to Senate.
Fabulous. Thank you. One more. We'll go ahead.
Well, I actually am working together, and we're both under like the Collaborate LLC, so we realized this would be like a good collaborative opportunity. So what we're doing is we're gonna do like a Meet Your Senator out there, and we're gonna have like questions and cookies time. And so like people can just like come out, and then if they're commuters, they can drive over and park nearby, and then we'll just like be here for them to like ask any questions, learn more about ASG, and just see like a familiar face where they know they have a buddy to represent them.
Lovely. I will. Thank you. I know many of you have several initiatives in which you want to get to know folks. I will send you, just so you know, the conversations don't always need to be just like cold conversations of like, hey, who are you, and tell me more about your pain, right? There's many different ways in which you can draw stuff out. So I'll send you 3, I'll make sure that Gunnar gets it, and then Liddy and Gunnar distribute this. There's 3 specific posters that invite feedback, like what would you do with $10 today, and then just engaging. There's a couple, like it's a whole format. They can help you walk through some of these activities to get to know folks. Cool. So a little a little invitation to connect with us. If you don't follow us, you should. And secondly, the one thing, let me get rid of the number. Yeah. Nope. You just know. If you're not in the newsletter, I may actually invite Andres and the team here to maybe they'll just send you up and you can unsubscribe. But if you want to subscribe to it, if you, of all the newsletters that exist, this is the one you want to be on. All right, friends? And as well, if you have initiatives that have to do with social change, you can send them our way. We'll be happy to display them for you. Thank you so much for your time. I'll pass it back on to the rules and see you at the SLP.
All right, folks, if you could put your chairs back and let's start getting going. Yep.
While you move stuff, show your pages to your advisors. Show your handouts to your advisors. That will be a great conversation piece. Take the stuff that you wrote, and then on the way out, please put all the materials in a little box that I'll have.
Thank you, JC. The clerk of the Senate.
I move to reinstate Robert's Rules of Order.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to reinstate Robert's Rules of Order. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes to reinstate Robert's Rules. Next item on the agenda is Executive Board updates.
Happy Senate to you all. Just kind of wanted to go through a quick update for you all. This week, the most important thing I had to do was I had a phone call with President Harris. And so we're trying to discuss several issues that students are facing. Exec will be covering some of these problems this week, and we'll be working with several of the committee chairs to kind of span that out to you all. And so just be in mind and keep listening to committee chairs if we come out with something from Exec. The San Diego Student Government Summit is happening in November, so that's a huge, or one of the biggest ideas that our Exec came up with was to combine the student governments from all the major universities of San Diego to come here and talk about different ideas. So that's finally happening and it's in the works. And I'm going to be reaching out to marginalized student org leaders this week to start a conversation about what we can do to support them. And that picture's me and my mom, or my mom and my dog. That picture got me in the way. Dog in the
Hi everyone. So my most important thing is that I had a meeting with Andre Maye to discuss accessibility to breakfast for Muslim students during Ramadan, which we spoke about. And there will be an interest survey going out to students about their choices in meals and things like that, and a tabling event later on about it. There is no hyperfixation song of the week. This week, instead, I just wanted to speak about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and just say these are some things. And tonight at 6 p.m. there is a vigil at UCSD if anyone is interested in going. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I helped out at the TVB FSL Block Party last week. Shout out to TVB and Marco. Great job. I'm gonna say it. I was notified about having to serve on Grade Grievance Board. It was supposed to be this week. It got postponed until next week. And then Judicial Branch finished amending our own bylaws, hopefully presenting them here at Senate next week, if not shortly after. And then we also had an inquiry about interpretation of the Constitution. And then if you're interested, history nerd stuff over on the side. As always, if you need to reach me, reach out, ASG Chief Justice at sandiego.edu.
Hi everyone, happy Thursday. So in the last week we had our Block Party for Breast Cancer Awareness with FSL and our Latinx Heritage Month event with Mecha, Acha, Fama, and Ship, and both were really great successes. So thank you for everyone that came out to those. Save the date for end of October, Big Blue Bash on October 27th, and Homecoming Tailgate on the 28th. And then looking forward in November, we're having an off-campus event and a Friendsgiving celebration. Song of the week is Olivia Rodrigo's cover of Stick Season by Noel Kahan. Click the link and watch it. And as always, if you want something featured in the Blue Buzz, email me at tpp@sandiego. Thank you.
Okay, so we had Finance Committee this last Tuesday to discuss Q1 reports and rollover requests. I will be here next Senate to discuss what we had talked about, and then you guys will vote on those. I'll be working with Exec to tackle Exec 2023-2024 goals and looking into updating purchasing sustainability guidelines. And then also for ASGBC, we have allocated around $69,000. If you have any questions about anything, reach out to me. Niners are 5-0, and the Dodgers lost last night. Go Giants.
Happy Thursday. Undergraduate research grants are now posted on the Instagram, so please inform your constituents that that is up on the Instagram. You can repost it, send it to your constituents as well. Also, if you don't already, but you all should, follow the ASG Instagram and TikTok. And then I'll be attending the Academic Calendar Committee, which will be next week on the 16th. That's just regarding the academic calendar year for the 2025 to 2026 year. And then marketing request form is linked on my speaker notes as well as my slides will be on there for every week. So any flyers that you guys are working on, senators, you can send that on the form and then I'll look it over. And then if you want like a story post or feed post, that's where you can request that. And then I think on time, maybe a group photo after Senate if there's time. If not, next week I'm doing headshots. So if you have not yet, please see after Senate next week or before.
The biggest thing for mine, well, so first, happy Thursday. The biggest thing for my slide is if you would like to come to the October bonding, which is next Friday, you have to RSVP by tomorrow, which is on the Google form. You all should have received an email, and it's in my Google slides, and it has all the instructions there. We're still looking for drivers, so if you have a car and you want to, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the executive board. The next item on our agenda is the final business and hearing of the public. At this time, any senator may take from the table any motion previously laid on the table in the week before or present urgent business. Any member of the public may voice any concerns to the assembly on non-agenda items. Take them all. The student board's committee chair.
Sorry, quick question for me. Where can we find the liability form to respond to?
The chief of staff.
It's in the email, the original email, and it's in the original email, and I'm also sending a follow-up email today, so it's in there. And you can just email that to me.
Shane.
Hi y'all, my name is Shane Duffy. I'm the Assistant Director of Marketing in the Athletic Department, and so I'll be working with Anissa. And so I'm sure she's updating you on everything we have going on. But I know one of your goals is to increase school spirit, so if you have any ideas or any questions, yeah, throw them our way. We have a soccer game this Saturday at Snapdragon against SDSU. So if you have time to have flyers, and you can post them up. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
The student board committee chair.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
There's a motion on the floor that has been seconded to adjourn today's meeting. All those, or is there any discussion? There is no discussion. We will now move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Today's Senate is now adjourned.